Welcome to Shrouded Realities, show where three ardent patriots are bringing news to the people.
Ardent patriots?
Ardent patriots.
Ardent.
We're ingrained with passion for our country.
I'm glad you explained that because I really had no idea what you were saying.
I heard that word on The Patriot with Mel Gibson. They were ardent patriots.
Back when
fighting
we
for
were
their freedom.
Being halfway legitimate and didn't care about revolution.
Fighting against
they actually died for a cause.
Yeah.
Fighting for against a corrupt government, trying to hold them down.
It's kind of interesting that we were in the middle of a revolution at that point, and Cuba was in the middle of a revolution at one point too, and we weren't a fan of that.
No, which is weird. It's only cool if you're doing it.
Yeah, it's only cool if we're doing
the
it.
trendsetter.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, don't copy us.
We're the
Don't-
Jinko jeans.
You
Make
better
tons
stop.
of movies about our fighting for freedom, but everybody else,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you better quit.
don't you do it.
We liked it the way it was.
We're
You
going
better
to
stop.
step in and put in our people.
That's right.
Do you know Batista was put in by U.S.? He was one of the...
The wrestler?
The one.
Yeah.
Batista,
Jack.
the wrestler in the Cold War.
He was,
They
doing
put him
the, he
in.
was doing the neck breaker, whatever his
Yep.
move
Yeah.
is.
It was. He showed up. He was wearing those
really
those,
tight-
those underwear. He had that cool tattoo. It was swole up.
Why do wrestlers do that? Why do you got to wear the tight underwear?
I don't know. I've never understood
I mean,
like
if
why
you're
you gotta be
jacked,
half
throw it
naked.
off, but you can show it off in
You could wear pants.
shorts. Yeah.
You could wear pants.
Like, I don't get it.
I'd wear some. If I think if I was a
I
wrestler,
wouldn't trust
I'd do,
that. Like, there's got to be something that slips out. You,
Yeah.
you get to put in a position,
That's why
and it's
I
just
think
like
that's why
it's
it's
like
so
a
tight.
it's like a Pillsbury can. You know, you just hit the right corner and it's just gonna.
It pops out. I mean, I think I would probably wear jorts if I was gonna do
The
it.
John
like
Cena
some-
way?
Yeah, I'd just go. No, I would like cut them off, almost Daisy Duking it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you
Not
feel-
carpenter jeans.
How do you feel about the wrestlers with no shoes?
I don't have an opinion
Those make me uncomfortable.
on no shoes.
Yeah.
Are you a feet?
Wow.
Are you not a feet guy?
I don't know. It
You're
just
off on
feels
feet?
more naked. They're already kind of naked with just the...
That's where you draw the line. Like
Shoes.
if you're wearing tighty whities, whatever. But if you don't have shoes on, I'm
No
out.
shoes, no shirts, no service.
You can wear a leotard, but as long as you have shoes on, I'm good with it.
I like how in pre-show we always have a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
we
we
do.
hit the play button and we're like, screw it. Let's talk about naked wrestlers.
Well, I think that's the charm of the show. There, is you never know where you're gonna end up.
I feel like Joey's a socks on kind of guy. You
He
know what
is,
I mean?
just all the time, just sitting in your
All the
house
time?
lounging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Even in
missing
other
hair, you're missing
situations.
hair on the lower half of your legs because you wear socks all the time.
Do you wear knee high socks? Are you a knee high sock guy? Or are you
Calf high.
calf high?
Not calf, the
Mid-calf?
crew socks, I think they're called.
Oh, okay.
Are they white?
Most of the time, yeah. I got hair
Don't-
on the lower half of my legs. I had to
Don't
look.
dig into what we're talking about. There.
Yeah.
It's better not to.
Y'all being pervs again?
No, we're actually not.
Okay.
It's an age thing, but yeah,
Anyway. But
Anyway.
we're patriots. We want to tell the people
you got some of
these
those
bad
socks
things. Which ones?
that's got Donald Trump's face on it and the hair's sticking out of it.
That'd be cool.
They make. Have you not seen those?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you. You
Okay.
can put it in the show. That's
Alright.
that's one of those things that need to happen.
Donald Trump socks.
Yeah, Donald Trump socks.
Probably a fire hazard.
I'm trying to bring it back to the show topic.
I'm
but,
sorry.
You keep talking about my socks.
Nobody
like a
cares about
weirdo.
what we're talking about. They want to know what
You
kind of
think
socks
people
you're
care
wearing.
about what kind of socks I'm wearing?
Yeah, that's what they want to know.
Batista. Who's Batista?
Yeah, who's Batista?
you got
Was
me
it
all set.
Batista or Batiste?
Batista.
It was
just
Batista.
like the wrestler's name. He was the communist dictator before Fidel Castro,
Gotcha.
wasn't
That's
really-
that's who he supported, right?
Well, he
which we
was-
did support because he was a capitalist, but he was
That
a
doesn't-
he was a corrupt capitalist.
Well,
Okay.
he was
He was
he was on
difference?
our side.
Yeah.
He was on our
he
side.
was
Yeah.
on our side.
He was an American. He was put there.
It's like,
by
no
us.
way, corrupt. No way.
Yeah.
We were,
Third world country? No
we were
way.
buying sugar cane from them. There
Yeah.
was all kinds of things that we were
Yeah.
they were exporting to us. That was very beneficial to us.
Yeah.
at that point.
I mean, for a country so close to us, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah. Saw where I can't remember which founding father said that Cuba is kind of the dream. That's the ones that you want.
Yeah.
So even that far back, Cuba has been part of our plan to an extent.
I
Of
wonder
like,
why it's not
we need
now.
to control that,
I wonder why it's not now.
right? Because
It doesn't make sense that it's not.
we got their We
But
got
we
'em.
don't. We got them under
Yeah, we do.
embargo. We don't trade with them. We can't get a cigar. It's illegal for us to get a cigar, which pisses me off.
It's,
I'd really
it's
love
not
a
anymore.
Cuban
Obama
cigar.
got rid of that.
Yeah, but they brought it back.
What?
When's the last time you had a Cuban cigar?
I don't go look for them a lot.
I would, but they're not. You can't get them. We're back under it.
I had a guy bring me one in his shoe. He went to a different country
Mhm.
and he brought one back in and he
Nice.
brought it in his shoe. He
It's like-
stuffed some socks in it.
It smells like
Yeah.
it smells like a 9.5.
It did. No, it was it was good.
I
mean,
have had one before too.
I've
A
had
buddy of
one.
mine smuggled one in. I'm not gonna tell you how because it was super creative.
I'm not gonna
Oh,
tell
I
you.
was
who.
gonna.
Oh.
I'll
It's
tell
stink.
it. I'll tell that story after. No, it was not that kind of creative. Creative, not obvious.
Golly,
Not keister pocket.
Okay.
that's pretty big to smuggle over.
The old keister
The old,
pocket.
the old pants pocket. Got you.
I marked that on the bingo board for. I didn't think I was gonna say keister pocket,
Yeah, there you go.
but
Just-
I did.
That's probably how they smuggled an explosive cigar that kills Castro.
That's right. There was a bunch of attempts to kill that dude.
Yep.
There was like hundreds of attempts to kill Castro.
What,
I mean, this
did that
dude-
attempt fail because he farted? He blew himself up.
Yeah.
Walking like he's just locked up. Just
Why are you so tense?
Don't fart! Don't fart! Don't fart! Don't fart!
you ever had to hold a poop in? You're
like-
just like locked up, walking like, ugh.
Like, he sees it come out, I was like, man, you need some fiber. Hey, it's solid.
We're 6 minutes in. I love it. We're already talking
Have
about
we said-
keister pockets.
Have we said the word Operation Northwoods yet?
Just did.
Which is what we're.
That's what we're
He
talking
gets
about.
my wood north.
And just so,
You saving that one, wasn't you?
Yeah, it was.
yeah, you thought about that on the ride over.
Yeah.
So we've had this conversation before. We've talked about Operation Northwoods.
Mostly,
Skimmed it.
kind of a sprinkle.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
sprinkled it in, and I think it was JFK is where we were.
Yeah,
One of those.
first
We're-
or second episode.
We're like JFK, like 32 episodes we've done on that.
Yeah.
But
the king
yeah.
daddy of all conspiracy theories.
So just for me, reading that document
Mhm.
shifted me even more to a direction than I thought I would be.
Yep.
Of like, oh crap, this is what they're willing to do.
Yeah,
They're willing to do this to manipulate people.
yeah.
Us.
Let's break that down a little bit.
Yeah.
So at the time that Operation Northwoods was presented, we were in conflict with Cuba, kind of looking for a reason to just take it over by military force.
Yeah.
Bay of Pigs happened and failed. I did learn something about Bay of Pigs too.
That was a Dulles. That was, first of all, that was
Yep.
an Alan Dulles.
Alan Dulles special.
That was his uh-oh.
Yeah, CIA director at the time. He was CIA director when Kennedy came into office.
Yep.
Bay of Pigs was already in the plans. Like before Kennedy even came in, they were working on the plan for years for the Bay of Pigs. It wasn't supposed to be the Bay of Pigs. It was supposed to be the Bay of I want to say Trinidad was where the Cuban city that they were going to come into.
Okay.
Reason being, it had people that was not pro Castro in that town.
Mhm.
So it was going to be, the plan was to send Cuban defectors in, take over the city, take the Cuban civilians that were sympathetic to the cause, grow the army more quickly, and then take over Cuba, take over Castro.
Gotcha.
Kennedy was scared of making that attack look like it came from America, so he was trying to find ways to where U.S. was soft on that attack.
Mhm.
We still supported it, but it looked like we wasn't supporting it. He come in and changed a lot of things, and they changed the location to a place that was pro-Castro and very hard for the operation to be successful. Almost like they set it up to fail anyway because the way Kennedy was acting towards the
Oh, so you're
invasion.
saying they wanted it to be a bad mark on his record?
Correct.
Gotcha.
Like if say you have an idea
Mm-hmm.
and you have the idea, you research the idea, it's going to work, it's a good idea, and then I come in and say, no, that idea sucks, we're going to change half of it, and you're going to be like, well, screw it, I'm not going to do it right anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it the way to make you look bad. I felt like
Also-
that was the way the Bay of Pigs was, why it was such a failure, was because Kennedy come in and said, no, we're not doing this
Mm-hmm.
the way y'all want to do it and the way y'all been working on for years. And they rolled out the plan, and then it just crapped the bed.
Also, if you don't want somebody in office, you're going to try to make them look bad.
Yeah.
And it's pretty clear that CIA did not want him in office, which I also think this could be the precursor to an assassination as well.
Oh, yeah.
Of like, okay, we're going to try this before we go to the full extent.
That's right.
We gave him a chance.
We gave him a chance.
Yeah.
We're giving him this option of like, hey, this is going to work.
Yeah.
And then he comes and takes a dump on it.
Yeah.
So then they're like, okay, I'm going to stick this on your record then.
Yeah.
We're going to fail at this, and it's your fault.
Yeah.
So that's their first attempt, I think, to get him out of office.
Yeah. And
Just as a thought.
And it was bad, and that's why I think that's why he fired Dulles. Was he had to, somebody had to be held accountable.
Yeah.
And it was his idea, his crew, his party.
Yeah.
Get him
Well,
out.
I think Dulles was also trying to, I think it was a mutually assured destruction a little bit by them.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, this isn't going to work. JFK said, well, then Dulles is out.
Yeah.
Dulles goes, okay, well, this still looks bad on you. It was definitely politics at play, I think, in some of that.
Yeah, because JFK had to sign the go-ahead on it.
He did.
So he may have been pressured to do it. I don't know.
So after the leading up to Operation Northwoods, after the Bay of Pigs failure, and it was accidentally released to the UN that America had involvement in it.
Accidentally.
Nobody was supposed to know, but some ambassador accidentally showed some pictures that showed U.S. involvement in it, and it was like, we got blood on our hands now.
Yep.
So America already looked bad. So they needed a reason for military force to come in and just take over Cuba. We couldn't just go take over a country.
We
Especially
mentioned
that's tied to the Soviet Union. I mean,
That's
that's
tied to
just
the
that.
Soviet
That's
Union.
gonna.
Yep.
Well, we
spark.
mentioned that Batista was there. I mean, we didn't really talk about Castro's intro into that.
Okay, yep.
So Castro started a revolution going straight up. I mean, it was already communist, but like full bore,
Yeah,
all of it in,
yeah.
and not a friend to America in that process. So that's where we automatically triggered. You got to think back during that time. Communism was the biggest bad word that there was.
Yeah.
That was like
Communism.
Metallica. Like people were really going for it.
Oh yeah. Very scared.
Did you say like Metallica?
Yeah, like it was everybody was fans of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people were.
Okay. But we
Nice tie.
we saw that would then make Cuba and Russia really close. Hey, communist allies can't have that, especially in our back door. Can't have it.
No.
So that leads into where you were right there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So Bay of Pigs happened. Cuban Missile Crisis started, where they got intel that Russia was putting missile silos in Cuba,
did they really?
mid-range. I
Was that a real thing?
I was saving this for the end
Okay.
because
Too late.
yeah,
You didn't tell me that.
because you kind of with the mindset of what's going on with Operation Northwood, that may have been propaganda.
I wonder if it was propaganda.
I've never seen. There may be. I didn't do enough research, but
I believe there are pictures of missile-looking things.
Sure.
Maybe they weren't nukes. Maybe they were just long-range missiles. I don't know.
There was
But
gonna
they were
be-
close enough.
There was going to be pictures of U.S. planes being shot out of the sky too. So just saying.
yeah, they could have took a picture of anything. Said,
You
"Hey,
take a
look,
picture.
look at this missile silo. It's in Cuba."
In the 60s, I can't even
it's just actually
confirm if
Florida.
that's
Yeah.
In the 60s, I can't confirm if that's Cuba or if that is somebody's
Miami.
backyard.
Arizona, yeah.
Or if that's a miniature where they
Yeah.
just like made a palm tree and took a picture up close. Like I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
confirm that.
Yeah. So this could have been. That could have been a Cuban Missile Crisis. Could have been another.
I'm not
false
saying
flag.
that it wasn't there. I'm
Yeah.
not.
Well,
I mean,
it
I
could have
can.
been.
I
The
can neither
means were
confirm
there
nor
for it
deny.
to be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The things were real.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know.
Yep. So Cuban Missile Crisis is going on. They need a reason to take over Cuba. Bay of Pigs didn't work. They needed more military force and a reason to go in and say, all right, you guys are way out of hand. We're coming in with full guns blazing. This island's our island now. They needed a reason. There really wasn't a reason. Cuban Revolution
It was inside the border.
technically is not our problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
They're
do
their
your-
own
do-
country.
Do your thing in your house. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? But we needed a reason to go in and say, y'all got to stop. What was the guy's name? The Joint Chief of Staff Chairman, General Lehman Limitzer, presented JFK with a proposal known as Operation Northwoods. And it was a false flag operation, including terrorist attacks on U.S. soil,
U.S. bases,
Gitmo sinking U.S. boats, shooting down U.S. airplanes, civilian casualties, blaming it on Cuba, thus giving us a reason to take over Cuba.
Well, they knew that the U.S. population would not be into us going and doing this.
No.
They knew that
Or the world.
up front. Yeah,
Or the world. You go take over a country,
Why?
that's going to draw a
of
bunch
course. Everybody's going to go, why are you doing this?
Yep.
So they needed some way to shift our people to being okay with this.
Yeah.
And they knew that.
Mhm.
And that's where it's really messed up to me. At that point, you're not a democracy as everybody calls us. We're not a democracy anyway. We're a republic, but a representative republic. So they're just saying, okay, we know the people wouldn't be into this, but let's make them into it.
Right.
Let's make them go like, nope, we got to do something about this.
Yep.
And I want everybody to think about the world today, just in general.
Yeah.
Are they doing that today? Are they saying like, okay, we're going to shove information down your throat to make you think about, we want you to do what we tell you to do.
Oh, yeah.
We want you to think
Feel
a
a
certain
certain
way,
way.
feel a certain way. Yes, we want that. So just as context of kind of how my thinking is about this a little bit
That's right.
is
all the chemicals that put us on edge anyway.
Yeah.
We're already on edge.
as we're talking about this, use that filter of today a little bit
Yeah.
with what we're talking about.
Yeah. This was in the 60s, early 60s, but so relevant now.
There's still
It's really
people
not
alive.
that long ago.
from-
Still, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not that long ago, really.
Yeah. There may be people still working for the government that was working for the government during this time.
Sure. Nah, they're all on pensions
mean,
at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah, they could have been.
They're sitting at home.
They're still holding information though. They still got that information.
They know
Yeah,
about it.
they
Yeah,
know
we're
about
not
it.
that far off.
They're going to
from it.
listen to it, and they're going to reach out to us anonymously and
They're
be
gonna
like, hey,
get their wheelchair.
we've got this information.
That would be cool.
It would be.
That would
If
be
if you are 90 years old and you are in a wheelchair and have this information and listening to this podcast,
Yeah.
first of all, kudos, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, reach out to us. have your grandson send us an email.
Yeah.
I've thought about
if they died, you wouldn't know if it was like a hit or like
Just their
Yeah.
body giving up. It was their last hurrah.
We would never do that. We're not like Russia. We wouldn't kill our own people for that,
Uh-huh.
for information.
We wouldn't, would we?
No.
So just for listeners, you can see it for yourself. It's not a ton of information. It's 212 pages, but you can scan through it and get the pertinent information out of it. But go to the National Archives website. It's Article 202-1002-10104.
Since nobody remembers that, we will link it in the description.
Yep. But yeah, you can pull up the link. You can read the whole thing yourself. It's all the redacted.
unredacted.
Unredacted.
Redacted.
Redacted is when it's
Unredacted. Yeah. Okay.
Black
so,
Sharpie.
Yes, unredacted. What they could release, and it was released in 1992 when a big portion of the JFK files was released in 1992, which was 30 years after. And I think, isn't there a law that classified documents are supposed to be released after 30 years?
I can't remember the time frame, but it's something around that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty much once everybody dies, we can start releasing stuff.
Okay. Yep. So the government pretty much had to release this document of Operation Northwood. Just need to point out that Operation Northwood did not ever get carried out.
We did
No.
not.
It was
Shot down.
it
No
was-
pun intended.
We were one person away from it
We
getting
were
carried
one
out.
person away.
Yeah.
It went through a shockingly high number of people before it got to the desk of the president for his final approval.
Yeah.
A joint chief of staffs, which was a bunch of generals and stuff, they went through it. They wrote it.
Yeah, this is all of the military branches.
All the military
High-ranking.
branches, high-ranking people sat down, wrote this this operation out, this big plan that we'll go through here in a second. Wrote it out. It went to the Secretary of Defense. He took it to the president.
Didn't he give an okay as well?
Everybody gave the okay until it got to JFK, and JFK said stop.
That is,
JFK said absolutely not.
You imagine the disgust on his face when he read that? Like,
Dude.
what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
there's
So,
no way. I mean, just the thought of doing this
Yeah.
is nuts to me.
so we keep teasing the people. If you hadn't listened to it on the JFK episode, we read through a lot of it, but let's read through some of it now.
Let's hit a break. Let's tease people.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
keep
we're
him
gonna-
on edge.
Keep them
After-
on edge.
All right. So after the break, we'll read through some of these plain word, like these
It's
are
on
things we're
paper.
going to do.
It's on
This is
paper.
on paper,
Yes.
and we'll read through it and break it down, and you can draw your own conclusions from there, and then we'll lead you in a direction in another episode. But just teasing that a little bit. But yeah, so it went. Lemons wrote it. Went through the Joint Chief of Staffs. Went through the Secretary of Defense. Went to JFK as a piece of paper. Said, "Hey, here, sign this. We need to do this so that we can attack Cuba." JFK said no.
Yep.
And then we all know what happened. I think a year later, maybe
Yeah, it
less.
was a year. It was a close, almost to exactly a year, if I remember right.
Yeah, March 13th, 1962 was when it was written. And then, of course, his assassination was November 93. So a year and a half later.
Okay, year and a half.
63, November 63. So
Golly.
a year and a half after he said, no, we're not
He only had one more-
pretending to get attacked so that we can take over a country.
he only
And
had-
really, what
he got
other
popped.
things were pushed to him that he went, no?
Right.
What
right.
other things? This is just the one we know about. This is
Yeah.
the one that we found.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that there are more that exist
Yeah.
than this. Maybe not on this level, but there are other ones that had to have happened.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
how many knows?
This is what they're telling us. What are they not telling
Yeah.
us? Because
Yeah,
this this one's bad.
How
This
many
one's
yeses
real
and how many
bad.
no's?
if this is the one where they go like, okay, push that one. That's the one. That's the one we can send.
What are they not?
What are they not? And how many no's did they get from JFK before they're like, all right, we got to do something about this? Wink, wink. No fun or no
But
throwback to previous episodes.
Them
there.
having a hissy fit, like if he says no one more time, I'm gonna blow his freaking head off.
So before we go to break, it's almost time for one. I did find a couple of different operations that are similar to this one, which kind of sets the groundwork for that one. Operation Mongoose, which was a proposal to take down Fidel Castro. 12 different proposals came from that proposal, and it was entitled Possible Actions to Provoke, Harass, and Disrupt Cuba, written by Brigadier General William H. Craig and submitted to Brigadier General Edward Lansale, the commander of the Operation
That is
Mongoose
definitely,
Progress.
I feel like that is definitely tied to this Northwood to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's one we should actually
That
dig
proposal
into
came
a little more.
That proposal came a month before Operation Northwood proposal came out.
Do y'all think that it's strictly because of the Russia-Cuba tie there that they're worried? Or is it we're losing on our side trade, we're losing some of those things? Is that the
To
bigger
me, I
thing?
feel like money had a big thing to do with it, and then also just wanting a reason to get more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they didn't really have a good reason to take down Cuba and take over Cuba and make it American.
Big
So that-
scary communism is the big one. That's the one you're going to hear.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
I'm starting to have thoughts on that.
On communism?
Joey's a socialist.
Uh-oh.
I'm not.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
But think about all the wars and conflicts that we've had because of fighting against
His socks are
communism.
red. His socks are red.
I'm actually
I'm
an
not-
agent.
I'm not-
You're dead.
Communist idea is horrible.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
American.
You just think just
Freedom.
just the preface of it.
I'm
being
just
communism.
saying, think about all the dumb wars we've been in to
Yeah.
fight against
Okay.
communism,
I'll
and how
agree
many
with that.
times we've lost. Cuba,
Mhm.
Cuba's still Cuba. We didn't succeed at that.
Yeah.
Cuba's still communist. 60 years later.
Yeah.
Has it affected us?
Hadn't affected us, no.
I can't get Cuban cigars. That's the way it's affected me. That's it.
That does suck, though.
Vietnam.
Quit being communist, Cuba.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
We're going in to stop communism in Vietnam.
Yep.
We lost the war.
Mhm.
Communism's still going on.
Well, that's because the people weren't behind it, Joey, and they were showing it on TV, and there were people.
The college kids, man, they were rooting for it.
I'm not pro-communist.
The college kids were burning bras over this, Joey.
Yeah.
I'm not pro-communist, but we shouldn't have been in Vietnam.
Well, I mean, you can look at communism and
we'll do a
it
show
doesn't
on that.
work. It doesn't work. I mean, Cuba is
Yeah,
still
it's-
driving
it's
50s
horrible.
cars.
Yeah,
You know, there's
yeah.
zero innovation that
That's
comes
just-
from it.
It's
Yeah.
not a good idea.
It's a bad idea.
But why are we starting wars and trying to take over countries because of that thought?
Yeah, it doesn't work. So why are we worried about it?
So yeah, so
All we're doing
if they
is
want to self-implode,
Yeah. We just tell
Come
them,
at it
hey,
later.
you do anything weird, you're just going to be we're going to blow you up.
Yeah.
Just stay in your lane, bud.
yeah, and you're not gonna have an army because you got weak, poor, uncivilized people.
I think I guess the only reason is they're bringing in charismatic leaders that can. I mean, look at North Korea. You kind of got a
They're
little
still in the
rocket man over there. That's it doesn't affect us, but it could if they're being propped up by other communist countries like Russia, like
Yeah.
some of those
China,
things.
yeah.
And then
That
the
they could
idea,
become dangerous.
and then the idea, it's like it's our duty to protect the rights of everybody in the world.
Yeah, I worry about that. I'm not a fan of that. It's not our place to worry about everybody else.
Fixing to go full lib on you.
Uh-oh.
That's not true because we don't give a rip what happens in Africa. Like
I
there's
don't think that's
tons
liberal.
there's tons of
I think that's just factual.
like, you know what I mean? Like, why that world police idea is
Yeah.
not true. It's only when it benefits us.
Some would say that we're probably keeping them down to an extent. But
Yeah.
Anyway,
Thank you, UN.
Mm-hmm. The UN, they're great.
The UN's, we got to do a pod about them, dude.
Dude,
They're nasty.
Yeah, they're bad. UN is awful.
dirty. People thought they were the Antichrist.
Probably good reason for it.
Yeah.
They're not great.
Yeah.
They're bringing the one world government
Yeah.
situation there. So
Yeah.
there is something to that. Yeah.
And one more operation I want to bring up for a break. This was a neat one. Nothing really to talk about because nothing really happened. But Operation Bingo was a false flag plan to create an incident which has the appearance of an attack on U.S. facilities, particularly Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, thus providing an excuse for U.S. military might to overthrow the current government of Cuba. Also, in this was Operation Dirty Trick, where if something bad happened to the Mercury mission with John Glenn circling doing the
Right.
first orbit,
Yeah.
if something bad happened, they were going to blame it on Cuba and say they shot him out of the sky.
Wow.
It's like your little brother doing something. And like,
He did it.
It was him. We're
So-
going to blame Cuba.
Yeah,
Or
so-
Cuba. As some Cuba. We're going to blame Cuba for it.
ShroudedRealities.com. You can go find our stuff. We say that we've been saying this for months,
We have.
but we haven't ordered it yet. I'm
No.
ordering it today though. Can I
Sure.
order it today?
You need to go ahead and put them
Yeah.
on the website too, just so people can see them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna put it on the website.
We're going to show the graphics. You can.
Yes,
So let's just tell everybody what it is.
we're gonna have 5 different T-shirt options.
We are. With colors.
with color
options.
shirts, different. We're kind of changing up our store a little bit. We won't be able to ship them out as quick because we're not holding on to an inventory, but we're going to have multiple options for
Yeah.
multiple shirts. So now's the time to go check
Now's
out the
the-
ShroudedRealities.com store.
We can upload today what we're doing.
Yep.
I will say that Aaron Neese
Yep.
he won.
Yep.
He's the only one that did it, but he won.
He's the listener of the year right now.
He is. He said we needed to make a sorry mom logo
Yep.
somewhere and
we
put it
did.
on a shirt or a sticker.
And it looks great.
And guess what? We did it.
It looks great.
We took what he said and we said, you know what? You're right,
Yep.
Aaron Neese.
Yep.
We say it a lot. We hadn't said it yet.
Yeah.
Sorry, mom.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, Mom. I should have said sorry, Mom, when he's talking about my naked feet and
yeah,
all that
you
gross
should
stuff
because
that
that's
you
freaking
started out
gross.
with. Yeah.
Talking about Batista's balls, all kinds of stuff.
no, BB.
Connor's junk popping out of his
Yeah.
pants like
Yeah,
a
I mean-
can of Pillsbury Dove.
Preheat.
Stick it on that preheat.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry,
Pre-meat.
Mom is a shirt. We've got the logo made. It looks
do.
amazing. It's going to make a great shirt. I've already sold a few of them, by the way.
Have you?
Just like, hey, what do you think about this? And they're like, yeah, I'm buying one.
Nice.
Gum.
Yeah, it's happening. For sure.
I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, so we got big plans for our merch. We've already got multiple stickers. You can go get those at shroudedrealities.com
We
now.
need to bring those in so people can visualize them here.
Yeah, we did do that a couple times.
We should probably just
do it
leave
more often.
Just leave it here
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we need
Come
to
up-
show off
couple
our
of-
merch.
Put the prints out so people can see them.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, you can see what you're getting. But shroudedrealities.com is where you go to get it. We've got a store with secure links. It works great. All our customers have been happy with it so far. I've used it myself just as a tester. No problem. You can go in.
You can give us Bitcoin if you want to.
We're
Please.
fancy.
Yeah,
Yes,
give us
do that.
Bitcoin. Actually, yes, pay us in 1 Bitcoin and you have free access to everything forever.
You can have my cars.
You can
At my house.
How much is a Bitcoin now?
Like
$90,000.
$90,000. One coin.
Son.
So somebody that's sitting on like hundreds of these, just give us one.
Yeah.
That's all we're asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help your boys out.
Give us something you want to spread, and we'll spread it for you.
You think
gross.
I'm right.
Not that, Joey.
We'll
You
spread
said
dirty.
it. I didn't
we'll
say it.
spread-
You said it.
You dirty
Hey.
trick.
You said
You're
it.
talking about like butter. I'll spread it.
Yeah.
Operation Dirty Trick.
Operation Dirty Butter.
Dirt. But
Operation Butt Butter.
Going off the rails real quick.
So we have a Patreon.
Yep. Patreon. Oh, we got a new subscriber.
We do.
Yep. I'm going to start putting our subscriber members
It's going to be like
on
this.
a scroll at the end of the episode. Stick to the end of the
Yeah.
episode. If you're a Patreon subscriber, you'll see your name
You're
on the
going to see
episode.
your name.
when's
So-
our 1 year anniversary episode?
Getting close.
So we're on
Are we doing
47.
a year? Are we doing a year or 50? You nerds got super mad at me last week for saying I wanted to wait till 52.
It's just-
And you're like,
you know what, Joey? Since you're so mad about it,
I ain't mad. You
he's
mad.
mad. You
He
can
is
do
very
it.
mad.
You
He's
can. He's tore up, and I don't want him to be tore up. I want him to sleep well tonight.
Thank you.
We're gonna do 52,
Yes.
and it's just because
It's the anniversary episode.
You have pushed it so hard.
I did. It's
Do we want to do another?
near and dear to my heart.
Do we want to do another free T-shirt drop on 1 year?
Oh, that's a good
Absolutely, we
idea.
do. We may do a
great
couple. I mean, it's a year.
Yeah.
We need to show some
Yeah.
love. Give a sticker pack.
Yep, we've done a
Yeah.
a free T-shirt giveaway before.
We have.
We'll do this one a little different.
Yeah, we learned things on the last one. We'll
Yeah.
do it better.
We tried to grow our social media with it, and it worked a little bit.
It worked
Yeah.
a little, but at the same time, we didn't know that we couldn't see everybody that shared things. So,
it was
you-
rigged.
yeah, if you shared and you had your stuff set to private, we didn't know it. We didn't know it,
And they
and we
didn't go-
apologize to
And they
those
didn't
people.
go in the drawing.
No, but we
Yeah,
did
they
have a
were-
large we did have a large swath of people that we still were able to use.
Yeah.
Yep, we did.
We will just change the way we do it next time.
Yep.
But we've got a
It's a great
Patreon.
idea, Connor.
It is.
That's a great idea.
Connor's full of
I'm
them.
full of
That's
them.
what he brings is good ideas.
He's
That's
the
all
good
I do,
idea
though.
fairy.
I don't do anything else.
He's the good idea fairy. Just
You guys
sprinkling
do
it
all
in.
the magic
Just fun
behind the
ass
screen.
sprinkle.
I'm just the guy that goes home at the end of the day.
It just says dumb, funny things
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Pillsbury dough
Balls.
penises, balls and penises coming out of nowhere.
Pillsbury dough penis.
T-shirt,
The old PDP.
It's soft.
T-shirt idea.
Could we make a Pabst Blue Ribbon looking as just PDP instead of PBR? Just be PDP, Pillsbury dough penis, and just have somebody poking him, going. "Hoo-hoo." I don't think there'll be any copyright problems.
Get
with
that
that.
No,
crescent
no.
roll.
No, we got a lot of crazy, weird ideas that nobody else can copyright. Except for Jar Jar Binks as shooter of JFK.
Yeah, well,
Which
he
is
was.
funny.
He did.
Get that look.
One more thing before we exit the break. Everybody go on our Spotify. There is a place where you can put a 5-star review.
Yeah.
Just click it.
It's
Too
free.
easy.
It's and that's what pushes us out. That's what gets us recognized by anybody.
Yeah. Right
At
now
all.
we're 5-star. So let's
We
keep
are.
it. Let's keep it 5-star.
Yeah, don't if you're gonna put less than that, just
I don't know. Make it
$4.
4. 5 stars makes it feel fake. We need 4 stars.
Nah.
no, we need 5.
We need 5.
Shoot for the stars and hit the sky.
That's
what
right.
That's what we're all about.
We're not. What was the one you said that time?
Yeah, shoot for the stars, hit the moon.
Hit the
Or
moon.
hit a bird.
Hit a bird.
hit a bird.
that's
Yeah. Yeah, you can't hit the moon because we've never been.
If you hit the moon, you're the first one to hit it.
Yep. I wonder if people actually shoot at the moon thinking they're going to hit it.
Yeah, you use a 22, you'll get there.
Yep.
It's possible.
Speaking of shooting things out of the sky, let's get into this.
JFK. Oh, you talking about what
Northwoods,
happened in
baby.
Operation Northwood? Let's read it.
That was a good segue.
That was a great segue. Let's pull
I
up.
had a coffee this morning.
Let's pull it up.
Before we get into the real intense stuff, let's do like the land-based attacks, like Miami.
Yeah, where
Miami
they're
was,
going to
like,
put
the
like
main one.
plastic bombs
Yeah.
in Miami and say Cuba did it?
Yeah, they even put the name of what the
Them PFAS,
the-
man.
Yeah, the propellant that they were going to use, which is odd.
Yeah.
Was it fertilizer?
So we can start on. I've got it pulled up over here. Page 4 is where they really start.
Golly,
hitting
that's
some of
page 4.
that. Yeah,
They
no,
got
they
it.
didn't-
They jumped right into it.
Yeah. Let's go with number 2 number 1, since it would be deemed desirable to use legitimate provocation as the basis for U.S. military intervention in Cuba, a cover and deception plan to include requisite preliminary action such as has been developed in response to Task 33C, don't know what that is, could be executed as an initial effort to provide Cuban reactions. Harassment plus deception actions to convince the Cubans of imminent invasion would be emphasized. Our military posture throughout execution of the plan will allow a rapid change from exercise to intervention if Cuba's responses justifies. So that's number 1. They're just laying down the groundwork of like, hey, this is what we think we should do right here. So if you go to number 2, a series of well-coordinated incidents will be planned to take place in and around Guantanamo to give genuine appearance of being done by hostile Cuban forces. So we're going to manipulate our public and say, they did it. It was the Cubans. We need to go attack them. Look at what they're doing.
And everybody would.
Oh, absolutely.
Toby Keith would have wrote. I'm
would've.
setting it up already.
Yeah.
I'm
He'll
not.
put
I
a
said I was going to say it today.
He'll put a
American days.
Toby Keith's gonna write a song about it. Everybody's gonna get fired up and ready to go fight. Go
You imagine
sign-
cameras
go
are
sign up
around
for-
like, that's a bunch of white guys. Those aren't Cubans. They're just kidding.
bunch of white guys from the '60s with slick back hair. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
blow things up. See,
I
yeah.
got a baseball.
I had a way to make a Cuban joke in the middle of the song, and I'm just going to skip it.
Yeah, we'll get
So-
back to that.
Here they're saying they're going to make coordinated incidents, right?
Yep.
So incident A, incidents to establish a credible attack. These are not in chronological order according to them. So the first one, start rumors and use clandestine radios.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, it is easy for you to say.
Clandestine.
Clandestine. So they're going to use radios and they're going to start rumors.
I wonder
of
if they had
things
the-
happening that the Cubans are doing.
I wonder if the women division had this one.
The what?
The women division.
What are you talking about?
Like ladies.
I understand.
Yeah, the content. Yeah, never mind.
Never mind.
I was making a lady joke.
I missed it. I missed it completely. Starting rumors? Is that
Yep. That's it.
using women
Using
to start rumors?
Yeah.
Get their gossip.
Because women tell
Women!
they gossip a lot.
Women gossip. Hey, you're not gonna get one past me.
No.
So that was number 1. Number 2, land friendly Cubans in uniform over fences to stage attack on base. So in Guantanamo, they're going to land friendly Cubans in uniforms and
I wonder how that conversation
stage
goes.
an attack. So how do you stage an attack on a base?
Step 1, you find a friendly Cuban. You
Yep.
tell them, hey, you're probably gonna die. We want you to commit this. Did they even tell them it's a fake attack, or they just tell them it's
I don't know. See, that's my other thing is like, do you
How
tell
deep
them,
how deep is the lie?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't tell us that. Do we say, hey,
That's the
do we
CIA's
fire
job.
them up? Do we
Yeah.
fire them up? Be like, look,
This is
they're
it.
about to attack us. You got to go handle this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or they just tell them like, hey, this entire thing is fake.
because I would think if you tell them, you got to kill them at that point.
Right.
You got to make sure that everybody you staged is
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, so I guess it would make sense to tell them like, hey, this thing's about to happen. You're going to be the start of the operation. Like you're going to be the
Yeah, you're the guy
spearhead.
going in.
Well, they had enough of them during the Bay of Pigs to do that. I mean, they sent over thousands of Cuban defectors.
There were Cubans that were like, nah, we're not into this Castro guy. I mean, that was a real
What if
thing.
Trump did that with legals?
But think about it though. If you're in U.S.
It's like you're going to go fight the cartels now.
Wow.
No comment at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know what to say to that.
Could happen. Just saying. But yeah, so there's an additional lie that you're telling this Cuban, hey, you're fighting for your country.
Yeah.
Go do it.
Yeah.
And actually, what they're doing is they're just like, hey,
This.
you're about to start a rumor for us. Thanks.
Yeah, and you're going to die.
Number 3, caption Cuban friendly saboteurs inside the base. So we're going to capture them and do what? Why are we capturing them?
Playing bingo. I
Yeah,
don't know.
to say they did. I don't know. That's
All
just, yeah.
4D chess.
So then
Makes for a good photo op, maybe.
I think that as we go down, it'll all start to make a little more sense. Start riots near the entrance of the base. Friendly
Sounds familiar.
Cubans. So you're going to
Sounds
use
super
friendly
familiar.
Cubans? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Interesting. Like I said, run it through that filter.
Yeah.
So they're going to start riots. Number 5, blow up ammunition inside the base. Start fires. So
Is this a U.S. base that this is happening
it's at
on?
Guantanamo. Yeah.
Interesting.
6, burn aircraft on airbase. Sabotage.
So they're going to blow
Parentheses.
blow up their own planes
Beastie Boys.
to say Cubans are doing
Cubans are attacking.
it. Dang it, those stinking Cubans.
Those daggum Cubans, man.
Always coming after my planes.
my Falcons, wherever they were called back
That's
then.
right. Lob mortar shells from outside of the base into base. Some damage to installations. So not all of it, but we do want some things to be pretty well blown up.
Yeah.
Because we're lobbing mortar shells. The Cubans are.
By lobbing, are they doing accurate shots or just like blah?
I said some,
So, I
Some
mean,
damage
they
to
want
They
facilities.
just
some,
need to be inside the gates.
yeah.
that's what they're saying. So no risk to our people at
Yeah.
all. No risk at all.
Just throw them over here.
Just throwing mortars at them.
Yeah.
But, no accidents could happen.
No ricochets.
feel pretty confident. Capture assault teams approaching from the sea of vicinity of Guantanamo City. So then our guys coming in, we're going to capture. Or the guys coming in to save the day, the assaults, to prevent this assault, capture them. They're gone.
By captures, I mean get them or just mow them down with an M60.
Yeah. What does it mean? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
It's vague enough and I think that that's on purpose.
Yeah, they're not
I
gonna,
think that they're going to be vague enough that
Like they
it's
could go. It could go either way.
Yeah. If they do, that's not what we meant. We didn't mean for you to kill all of them. Or the other side of that as well.
Yeah.
Could go either way. You can't lose if you're not specific.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This makes for a good story for
It's like betting on
Yeah.
horses.
The
You just
media.
bet on all
Well,
of them.
and it gives them some plausible deniability there of like, well, it's not really what we meant. I mean,
Yeah.
look, you can read between the lines here. It's not what we meant. Capture militia group from which storms the base. So then you're going to capture people again. Sabotage ship in harbor, large fires, and then they've got, I can't say that word, naphthalene?
There it is. That was the
Naphthalene?
yeah.
Naphthalene?
Sure.
I don't know.
Sounds smart.
Like a
Nap
fancy beer.
Naphthalene. Yes. So they're going to start large fires on a ship.
Mm.
Sink ship near harbor entrance. This is
Dude,
where it gets
sinking
weird.
ships is hard.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. They're built not to sink.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's kinda,
Kind of like their
It's like
purpose.
seeing those World War II ships that are just mangled and they're still floating.
Yep.
It's like to sink a ship. Like, I mean, if it's a small ship, maybe not hard, but if it's a big ship, it's like you're gonna have to hit the thing hard.
Yes. So then they're going to sink the ship near harbor entrance. This is where it gets weird to me. Conduct funerals for mock victims. What? So
so they were going to pretend that people were dead on the boat or the base.
run this through the filter of today, people.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been any of these things that would tug on your heartstrings a touch?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Just run it through that filter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we definitely wouldn't do anything like this. United States would respond by executing offensive operations to secure water and power supplies, destroying artillery and mortar emplacements, which threaten the base. Okay, so then we're going to attack back,
Yeah.
right? This is our
We're gonna fight
reasoning.
back.
We're going to say, nope, we're not taking that. Commence large-scale United States military operations after all of these things happen. A Remember the Maine incident could be arranged in several forms. So I've pulled up Remember the Maine.
It's a big boat.
It was. It was the USS Maine, was sank in 1898 in the Havana Harbor. Come to find out,
That was
I think we did it.
yeah, and that's what That's what caused us to be able to
Well,
help out Cuba.
Cuba and yeah, exactly. As we wanted, even in 1898, we
Yeah.
wanted some of what Cuba had.
Yeah.
So we even said,
We was
you know
helping
what
them
we're going to do? Let's go stage an attack,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have complete rights to go do what we want.
Yep.
So that in itself, this goes all the way back to 1898. So they said they could do this in several forms. We could blow up a U.S. ship in Guantanamo Bay and blame Cuba. That was one option.
Mm-hmm.
We could blow up a drone unmanned vessel, which I didn't know that was a thing then. Did y'all know that there was unmanned aircraft in the 60s that we could fly around?
That I found super weird.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I did not.
It's not-
I mean, was it radio? Are we talking like a remote control car type thing? Was that even a thing in the 60s? Did you have like remote control cars at that point?
Remote control airplanes?
I'm just thinking like remote control
wasn't
toys.
a thing, right?
Yeah. But like a full-size plane as a drone, that's barely a thing now.
Yeah, I mean, that's not been a thing since what, like 2012?
Yeah.
Something like that?
We still got pilots in the cockpits now. Like,
Mhm.
if, like,
Well, they clearly say that it was a thing here.
huh.
Anyway, this one's a decently long one.
Yep.
Could blow up a drone, unmanned vessel anywhere in Cuban waters. We could arrange to cause such incident in the vicinity of Havana or Santiago as a spectacular result of a Cuban attack from air or sea or both. The presence of Cuban planes or ships merely investigating the intent of the vessel could be fairly compelling evidence that the ship was taken under attack. There's more to that, but we'll just stop there. I mean, they're even like setting the plot before it.
Yeah.
If they even go investigate it. See, they did it. They
Yep.
did it. Look.
Yep.
So there's your pictures right
Yeah.
there that of
Mhm.
even putting missiles in a place that maybe it wasn't.
Hmm.
If they're even setting this plot this deep
Yeah.
on just a piece of paper.
Interesting.
We could develop a communist Cuba terror campaign in the Miami area, in other Florida cities, and even in Washington. This is where all of these other things sent red flags.
Yeah.
This one.
It's like we
Is
start
the
get to
big
the,
boy
get to
for
the
me.
get to the mainland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's a different animal doing it across off mainland and in mainland. It's like that's two different.
Yeah, if you're
operations going on.
if you're running an operation to convince the American people something that they don't need to be convinced of.
Yeah.
Just so that you can say, I need to go blow this guy up and take over this island.
Mm-hmm. Run it through the filter of today.
Yeah.
Why would they do it? What's the purpose?
Can we run it through the filter of
Not yet.
2001?
Not yet.
Okay.
Nope.
You just
Okay.
did.
Hold it, Joey. Keep it in your pants.
It's towards the end of the show. I'm not.
I mean, the terror campaign could be pointed at Cuban refugees seeking haven in the United States. We could sink a boatload of Cubans en
Does
route
it say
to
a
Florida.
boatload?
It sure says a boatload. And what they mean by that is probably a boat loaded with
full
Cubans.
Of people, full of Cuban people.
like,
We
look, we got a boatload of Cubans. We can blow it up.
Literally.
Literally.
Real or simulated. It does say that right there.
Simulated.
So we could do we could fake it, but why not? Let's just make it real.
Let's just get a real boatload
Let's
of
just do them for
Cubans.
real. We could foster attempts on
rizzles.
lives of Cuban refugees in the United States, even to the extent of wounding in instances to be widely publicized. Exploding a few plastic bombs in carefully chosen spots, the arrest of Cuban agents, and the release of prepared documents sustaining Cuban involvement also would be helpful in projecting the idea of an irresponsible government. All right. I'm going to number 6. Number 7, I'm sorry. And this is the one right here. We're going through the lens of number 4, which was we're going to do terror attacks on our soil. Number 7, hijacking attempts against civil air and surface craft should appear to continue as harassing measures condoned by the governments of Cuba. Concurrently, genuine defections of Cuban civil and military air and surface craft should be encouraged.
Encouraged.
So we're talking about aircraft at this point.
I want everybody to make a mental note of what you just said
Yes.
and say it again, maybe.
We're not even there yet.
Yeah.
There's more.
Explains it in
But
detail.
wait, there's more.
Willie Mays here.
All right. This one's number 8. An aircraft of Elgin AFB would be painted and numbered as an exact duplicate for a civil registered aircraft belonging to a CIA proprietary organization in the Miami area. At a designated time, the duplicate would be substituted for an actual civil aircraft and would be loaded with the selected passengers, all boarded under carefully prepared aliases.
What?
The actual registered aircraft would be converted to a drone.
What?
So they do a hot swap.
Not done yet.
What?
Takeoff times of the drone aircraft and the actual aircraft will be scheduled to allow a rendezvous south of Florida. From the rendezvous point, the passenger carrying aircraft will descend to a minimum altitude and go directly into an auxiliary field at Elgin AFB, where arrangements will have been made to evacuate the passengers and return the aircraft to its original status. The drone aircraft, meanwhile, will continue to fly the filed flight plans. When over Cuba, the drone will... Hold on. When over Cuba, the drone will be transmitting on the international distress frequency a Mayday message stating he is under attack by Cuban MiG aircraft. The transmission will be interrupted by the destruction of the aircraft, which will be triggered by radio signal. This will allow radio stations in the Western Hemisphere to tell the U.S. what has happened to the aircraft instead of the U.S. trying to sell the incident.
Wow.
So we don't want to be the ones selling it.
They're going to pretend to blow up the plane over Cuba.
Yep. Saying that they're being attacked by Cuba.
Saying they're being attacked by...
This goes into like knowing college kids that are supposed to be on this plane at that day.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it goes into all of these. It goes way deep. If I was just to keep reading this, my eyes will go crossed. But yeah, this is... Run it through the lens of today, people.
Jeez.
Think about this.
Also, we can take over an island full of sugar.
Yeah. What makes it cheap?
No,
Gotta-
we're fighting against communism.
Yeah, that's right. Red Sox.
I want my Coke to have sugar cane in it.
I want my Coke to have cocaine in it. So this is what they're willing to do.
I'm literally putting dots together right now.
There's a few.
Couple.
Start out,
Twins.
communists are the bad guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Communists are bad.
But are they really? And then,
Yeah, they are.
okay, brainwashed.
Two things can be true at the same time.
So then,
Okay, so Joey, how far is too far to stop communism?
when they start messing
This.
with us,
Maybe they were. Maybe they
like we got
remember there are other conversation, the communists started the whole left-leaning mindset in the US of trans identity and that whole deal. So it's a double-edged sword. It's like, do you want to not touch it and let it fester, or do you want to stop it?
It is a double-edged sword.
We've been trying to stop it for decades, and it
Yeah.
obviously didn't work. So
Right.
what's the point?
I would say it's arguable if it didn't work. I mean, would communism flourish without our input? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because I do think it stifles innovation. I do think that it calls for one person to be so powerful that they just...
Especially if you kill all of your citizens. I mean, eventually there's a breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have...
100 million dead.
Yeah, most of the time that's where it ends up, is in mass graves. But is it because of us? I don't know. To be completely honest with you, after reading some of this stuff, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have to have a perfect human to be the right communist dictator. I mean, otherwise it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But
And coming to the end of the show, I know I'm not the only person that put dots together.
Yeah.
From a certain event that happened in 2001 and the words that you just read.
it was very This was very coordinated here,
Yeah.
down to we're going to certain altitudes and we're going to have certain people's names on it and we're going to,
And it would have been carried out if not for one person.
for one person. Yeah. And history would have been completely different if this had have been carried out.
Yeah.
Because we could have took Cuba, no problem.
I think he says yes to this.
Mhm.
He was the final signature.
Yeah.
All the other signatures were on the paper.
We would never know about it.
He puts his signature on this paper. We don't know this is a thing. We go to war with Cuba. Cuba's state number 51 right now.
They would be.
They'd be
Or-
blue.
Yep. And yeah, and that,
They would be. They would definitely be very liberal, I
Yeah.
would say, because they're very communist now.
Yep. So yeah. So let's pretend he signs it. It goes into effect. This happens. American civilians die.
Mhm.
Fake casualties happen. Military assets get blown up. We go in, take over Cuba. Cuba's a new state. Fidel Castro is not in power.
And then what, the Soviet Union's just supposed to take a step back?
Yeah,
How would they react to that?
Yeah, we push that. Soviet. Yeah, they're too far away. I think that's an easy stop,
Unless sleeper cells in the U.S. I don't know.
which happens anyway.
Well, there's sleeper cells today. At least
I think
they
there was.
tell us
I think there was
is.
more then, though. I think there was more.
They tell us
I think there
there
were
are.
more sympathizers. I don't know.
Yeah.
They tell us that those things exist today. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they're willing to tell us this,
Yeah.
or they weren't going to tell us this, but if they're willing to do these things to get a certain outcome,
Yeah.
they're willing to do other things to get a certain outcome too, and
Yeah.
gives us validity of being somewhere that maybe we shouldn't.
When you read this to me the first time on the first JFK episode or
Yeah.
second one, this was the biggest mind breaker for me.
It was me too.
Like it changed how I think about all of American history
Mm-hmm.
Being
from
fake.
from the 60s on.
Being a facade.
Of it could have been a facade. All of it.
Any of it could.
Any of it. Vietnam War, Gulf War, 9/11, stuff we're going through now.
Yeah.
Ukraine and Russia.
Who's poking and prodding to make things happen?
Yep.
I think that's the important thing, and it's really hard for me to not say that we're not the people that's poking and prodding.
Yeah. Who's the first domino in the stack? You know.
Yeah, exactly. Who's the one that's saying, do this?
And it's
They're not even
all-
saying words. Just
It's
Yep.
all to make certain families filthy rich.
Some of it for sure is.
To me, that's number one motivation.
Yeah, I mean, and is it even the U.S. government completely? Maybe not. There could be deeper people involved that are already filthy rich, that are actually the powers that be that are the ones doing it. I can't say that for sure because that's never going to be released in a piece of paper. But yeah, I mean, what else? What is the puppet here? Who is the puppet?
Yeah.
Who is the one causing it all?
I
I
think
would
we're
encourage.
we're the puppet.
we are.
The puppet master
We
is the
are.
question.
I would encourage everybody go read this document.
It's
We're gonna
readily
link
available.
it.
Yeah, we'll
We'll
link
link it. Everybody needs to go read it. Like he said, it was my mind breaker completely, where I just shifted and went, oof.
Oh,
got to take a nap after that one.
I was not taught this in social studies. You know what I
everything
mean?
I thought I knew, I don't.
Yeah, and it really made me question everything.
Yeah.
It made me think, well, if they're willing to do it,
Yeah.
what else were they willing to do?
Connor, you got any final thoughts? Any nuggets of wisdom?
We need some. Give us some wisdom.
We should start a school where we just talk about conspiracy theories instead of like standard
Real
school.
real
like
history.
real history.
We'll start a real history.
It's like a bunch of 5-year-olds like, your government's lying to you.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Seriously.
Let's we can start a real history class
The
on our
real-
Patreon.
Yep.
Let's start a real history class on our Patreon.
Where you talk about what we're told and what could have really happened.
Yeah.
Put together your own thoughts,
Wow.
given the information,
what an idea that is.
like we did
You
here.
should teach yourself how to think.
What? And analyze
Get the fluoride out of your head.
and analyze situations.
Joey, you're a dangerous man.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What a dangerous guy you are.
The only thing that's going to be going through my mind after these thoughts is a bullet.
Yeah, it's possible. You'll feel that aura JFK felt.
Yep.
Son,
Skablow.
Released.
can't have the people out there thinking, can you?
You
Nope.
sure can.
If you're thinking, you're
Yeah.
stinking. Let's get out of here.
Jeez, let's do it. Yeah, pick us up on the next episode. It's going to be a hot topic. Hopefully,
is.
have a good hot guest. We'll see. But
Good hot guest.
It'll be me.
Yep,
I'm always hot.
you are hot. That's gross. For Steven, Connor, Joey, and Ruby the podcast dog, thanks for listening. Catch you on the next one.